since it's Christmas season, I wanted to share a little bit out of God's Word with you out of Matthew chapter 2. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Christ was to be born. "In Bethlehem in Judea," they replied. Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and make a careful search for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me so that I may too go and worship him." There's a couple of things that stand out to me from that story, is that these Magi, these wise men from the east, they had seen God's star, the star that would lead them to where the baby Jesus was going to be born, and they identified him as the King of the Jews. Now, something else that stands out that's very important, I think, in this story is that Herod did not obviously see the star, or if he did, he didn't understand what it was. And so that comes back to God's word in Jeremiah 29, verse 13, that says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." And so it was obvious that the wise men were seeking Jesus. They wanted to go, and obviously they said, "We want to go and worship this newborn king, the King of the Jews." And we know from further reading in the scriptures that they brought him 3 gifts, and so they took those things. But one of the things about King Herod that was obvious is that he was not seeking Jesus himself. He asked the wise men to go and find the King of the Jews and come back and report back to him, so, as he said, so that he could go and worship. But the point is, the fact remains that King Herod never found Jesus. And so today, let that be a story for us, a lesson for us, is that we don't have to ask someone else to go and find Jesus and then take us to him. If the word says that if you seek him with all your heart, you will find him. And so that would be a lesson for us personally, but also when people come searching for Jesus, that we need to be able to direct them to Jesus themselves, that if they call upon him and they seek him with all their hearts, they will find him. So just wanted to share that quick story with you, and I encourage you to go in and read Matthew 2. There's a lot more that I didn't read in that story that I'm sure God will reveal to your heart as you read that. But it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time at Special Kids, and it's Christmas time all over the U.S. and all over the earth. So we're going to spend a little time talking about Christmas. On November the 30th, we had our staff and board Christmas party at Strike and Spare Bowling Alley here in Murfreesboro. And it was such a fun time. We missed those folks that didn't get to come and bowl with us, but we had a big time. We also had an appearance by whom I will call the Christian Vanilla Ice, and her name is Vanilla Ice Latte. And so she got to share a really neat rap about Christmas time. And so if you run into her, she is in the Kleino Nursing Center. I don't want to give any names away, but her name begins with a T and ends with an Ori. So in case you want to learn about Vanilla Ice Latte this Christmas time and get a rap, you can ask Tori Bivens. You can ask someone in the nursing center about that rap. So it was quite fun. Great time that night. We all had a great time. So it's Christmas time, and well, look who we have here. We have Alexis Ramsey here. So Alexis, this past Saturday we had the Special Kids Children's Christmas party at the Therapy Center, and it was hosted and sponsored by CB&S Bank. But would you share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. It was an awesome event. We were able to serve over 108 families during that time. With that was about 389 adults and children. They got a chance to have a delicious breakfast that was catered by Five Senses. They got to make 2 crafts during that time, along with preparing some reindeer food to entice a certain roof-up up onto their roof. From that also, Santa and Mrs. Claus, the important one, was there at the party too for presents, and everybody got a chance to hear the true meaning of Christmas and how they can see Christ and how Christ has come to us as our greatest gift. It was an amazing party, so thankful for our sponsors at CB&S Bank. We couldn't do it without them.
Great time, and I can't speak for the kids and the families, but I can quote one little Chinese girl who said, "So fun." So I witnessed that myself. So as I said earlier, I'm here at Trinity Presbyterian Church, and I just want to say thank you to Trinity and their leadership and everyone who attends here, because they're so fantastic. And I believe you can see the thousands of gifts that are in here. But mind sharing with us a little bit about what we're doing here in the middle of all these gifts?
Yes, we're celebrating Cornelius Christmas, and it's our biggest Christmas ever. It's so big that I can't even find the family resource coordinators.
Oh, here we are.
There they are.
They were buried under the gifts.
This year is our biggest Christmas yet, and we currently have 91 families, which is 382 individuals.
Merry Christmas, and we hope you have a great New Year as well.
Has anybody heard from Connor?
No, he was supposed to be here at 1:30. Yeah. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I can call him. All right, call him. Maybe he's like,
He's usually really good on
he's probably like sitting in the parking lot, just like hiding.
Wait, you hear that?
So 1:30?